Did you know that 85% of the jobs that will exist in 2030 haven't been invented yet? And right now, while you're watching this, AI is being trained to do your job faster, cheaper, and without coffee breaks. But here's the twist nobody's talking about. The people who will thrive in the next decade aren't the ones fighting against AI, they're the ones who've cracked a completely different code. Welcome to KB BlueTree, where we cut through the career advice noise and give you strategies that actually work. I'm here because I've spent years studying what separates professionals who stay relevant from those who get left behind. And what I've discovered will probably surprise you. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn the exact framework that turns uncertainty into your biggest competitive advantage. And why everything you've been told about future-proofing your career is backwards. You ready? Let's dive in. Problem. So here's what's happening right now in your career, and I know this because I hear it every single day. You're watching AI tools pop up that can do in seconds what used to take you hours. You're seeing job descriptions change so fast that by the time you've learned one skill, 3 more become required. You feel like you're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. And no matter how many courses you take or certifications you earn, you can't shake this nagging feeling that you're still not doing enough. Maybe you've already started learning about AI, taking those online courses, adding ChatGPT proficient to your resume. But deep down, you're wondering, is this even the right move? Because here's the brutal truth, everyone else is doing the exact same thing. Your competitive advantage is evaporating in real time. And the worst part, the traditional career advice is completely useless right now. Be a lifelong learner. Great, but learn what? Adapt to change. Okay, but adapt how? Embrace technology. Sure, but which technology? And for what purpose? It's like being told to just swim when you're in the middle of the ocean with no land in sight. Here's what nobody's talking about, and this is where it gets interesting. The problem isn't that AI is replacing jobs, that's just the surface symptom. The real problem is that we're still thinking about careers the old way. We're still trying to build expertise in specific tasks and tools when the entire game has fundamentally changed. Think about it. For the last 50 years, career success meant becoming really good at doing something. You mastered accounting, or coding, or marketing, or sales. You built your value on execution. But here's the shift that's happening right under our noses. Execution is being commoditized at lightning speed. What used to take a team of 5 people can now be done by 1 person with the right AI tools. So when everyone tells you to learn AI, they're accidentally leading you into the same trap, because learning to use specific AI tools is still focusing on execution. It's still building your career on doing tasks. And tasks no matter how high-tech are exactly what AI is designed to replace. This is why you feel anxious even when you're keeping up with technology. You're upgrading your tools, but you're not upgrading your thinking. You're optimizing for a game that's already over. The professionals who are quietly building unshakable careers right now, they've figured out something completely different. And that's exactly what KB BlueTree is here to show you. Solutions. All right, here's what actually works. Forget about competing with AI on tasks. Instead, you're going to build what I call the 3-layer career stack. And this is the framework that makes you irreplaceable regardless of what technology emerges. Layer 1. Problem identification. This is your foundation, and it's pure gold, because AI is terrible at this. While everyone else is rushing to solve problems, you become the person who spots them first. Here's how you build this skill. Every single day, spend 15 minutes asking what's the real problem here. When your boss says we need more sales, the real problem might be messaging, or pricing, or targeting the wrong customers. When your team is too busy, the real problem might be unclear priorities or redundant processes. Start keeping what I call a problem journal. Every time you notice friction, confusion, or frustration in your workplace, write it down. But here's the key. Don't just list the surface issue. Ask why 3 times to get to the root. This is the skill that will make you invaluable, because the person who can accurately diagnose problems is worth 10 people who can only execute solutions. Layer 2. Strategic thinking. This is where you connect dots that others miss. I can process data, but it can't understand the messy human context that actually determines whether something will work. You develop this by deliberately zooming out. Every project you work on, ask yourself, how does this fit into the bigger picture? What are we really trying to achieve? What are the second-order consequences? Here's a practical tactic that works incredibly well. For any meeting or project, spend 5 minutes writing down the strategic context. What's the business goal? What are the constraints? What matters most to the decision makers? This habit alone will set you apart, because you'll start contributing ideas that align with what leadership actually cares about. Remember, KB BlueTree always emphasizes working smarter, not just harder. Layer 3, human connection and influence. This is your moat. AI can generate content, analyze data, even write code. No. But it can't build trust, navigate office politics, or inspire a team through uncertainty. This isn't about being good with people in some vague way. It's about specific skills, active listening, reading emotional cues, building genuine relationships, and communicating in ways that move people to action. Start here. In every conversation, make it your goal to understand, not to respond. Ask questions that show you're genuinely curious about the other person's perspective. When you present ideas, frame them in terms of what matters to your audience, not what matters to you. And here's a ninja tactic: become the person who translates between departments. The person who can explain technical concepts to non-technical people, or who can translate business needs to the technical team, becomes absolutely essential. Now here's how these 3 layers work together, and this is crucial. When you can identify problems others miss, think strategically about solutions, and influence people to take action, you become what I call a career orchestrator. You're not competing with AI on execution, you're using AI as your tool while you focus on the high-value thinking and relationship work that only humans can do. The tactical implementation is straightforward, but requires consistency. Every week, dedicate time to each layer. Maybe Monday mornings you review your problem journal. Wednesday afternoons you zoom out and analyze the strategic landscape. Friday you invest in one meaningful professional relationship. These aren't huge time investments, maybe 30 minutes per layer per week. But compounded over 6 months, a year, you'll be operating at a completely different level than your peers who are just chasing the latest AI tool. Make sure you like and subscribe to KB BlueTree for more insightful content that cuts through the noise and gives you frameworks that actually move your career forward. Success story. Let me tell you about Alex, because this is where the framework becomes real. Alex was a marketing manager at a mid-sized tech company, and 18 months ago, he was in exactly the position you might be in right now. He'd been taking AI courses, learning prompt engineering, experimenting with tools, but he kept getting passed over for promotions, and he couldn't figure out why. Then Alex started implementing the 3-layer career stack. He began with problem identification, spending 15 minutes each morning asking what's the real problem we're trying to solve. Within 3 weeks, he identified that their biggest issue wasn't low conversion rates, it was that they were targeting the wrong customer segment entirely. That insight alone saved the company 6 months of wasted effort and about $200,000 in ad spend. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of just pointing out the problem, Alex used Layer 2 strategic thinking. He connected this insight to the company's 3-year growth plan, showed how pivoting their target customer would actually accelerate their revenue goals. Then he used Layer 3 human connection to build a coalition of support across sales, product, and leadership before formally presenting his recommendation. The result? 6 months later, Alex got promoted to Director of Strategy. His compensation increased by 40%. But more importantly, he completely transformed how he's perceived in the organization. He's no longer the marketing guy who uses AI tools. He's now the strategic thinker who sees around corners. His CEO recently told him, "You've become the person I can't afford to lose." And here's the kicker: Alex spends maybe 2 hours a week on this framework. The rest of the time, he's using AI tools to execute faster than ever. But the value he brings isn't in the execution. It's in everything that happens before and after the execution. That's the difference, and that's what you can build starting today. Call to action. So here's what I want you to do right now. Don't wait. Don't tell yourself you'll start next week. The gap between people who thrive and people who survive in the AI era is widening every single day. Your immediate action step is this. Open up a notes app right now and start your problem journal. Write down 3 friction points you've noticed in your work this week. For each one, ask, why is this happening? 3 times. Get to the root cause. That's your first 15 minutes of building layer 1. You've just started separating yourself from everyone who's only focused on tools. Tomorrow, take one project you're working on and write a 5-sentence strategic context brief. What's the real goal? What constraints exist? What matters most to the decision maker? That's layer 2 then. Reach out to one colleague you don't normally talk to and ask them about their biggest challenge right now. Just listen. That's layer 3. This isn't complicated, but it is different. Different is exactly what you need to be right now. The professionals who will dominate the next decade aren't the ones with the most AI skills there. The ones who've learned to operate at a level where AI can't compete. Remember, like and subscribe to KB BlueTree for more insightful content that gives you real frameworks for real career growth. Drop a comment below and tell me what's one problem you've identified in your workplace that everyone else seems to be overlooking. Your future-proof career starts with the decision you make right now. Are you going to keep competing on tasks? Or are you going to rise above the noise and become irreplaceable? The choice is yours, and the opportunity is right in front of you. Let's build that career together. I'll see you in the next video.